Hello, future homeowners. My name is Stephen Mead. I'm the managing broker here at Domicile Real Estate, where we are on a mission to help California's renters become homeowners. This is our first time home buyer or entry level home buyer market update for June 25th, 2021. Kind of an interesting market. I think we put in the description here. It feels like being a wind chime in a tornado. I think that pretty accurately describes it. And what we're seeing is not just a super strong market, but a market that is sort of very unsure of exactly which direction it's going. And what I mean by that is we're seeing different results and different market conditions in different geographic areas and different market segments. So for example, South Orange County, especially coastal South Orange County, that is a very tough geographic area right now because the inventory has not grown. But what I'm going to show you is what we are doing across all of Los Angeles and Orange counties. And again, I just want to remind people, this is very general market dynamic information. I think when the situation and when we have market conditions like we do, it is very important to understand exactly what the market is doing in your market segment. So let's go ahead and jump into that. I'm going to go ahead and screen share here so we can go in there and kind of take a look. So see, we're at the end here. All right, so the first thing we're talking about is entry-level home prices. Again, as a reminder for everybody, this is Los Angeles and Orange counties. Our blue line is an entry-level single-family home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And the red line is an entry-level condo, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We've got our number down here for 2018, 2019, and then starting pretty much at the beginning of 2021 through the present. So one of the things that I find interesting and something you need to understand, I repeat this every time, but people still ask me about this, these are closed sales. So this is based on data that is from 4 to 6 weeks ago. So what we see that's kind of interesting, and that might explain a little bit about why we see a disconnect with some of the other market metrics. So what you see here is we see prices were elevating on our single family homes and they softened a little bit here on a condo. But remember, this is 4 to 6 weeks ago. If you look at our general trend line, it is rising prices in both of these property categories. So we take a look here. Where are we going with monthly payments? Well, for entry-level single-family home, we're at $41.38. And I know I don't always go over this, and I should. We wanted to give people a realistic look at what the payment is on these entry-level properties. So here are the conditions. These are based on a 30-year fixed-rate prevailing interest rate loan with 5% down. It includes mortgage insurance, taxes, and HOA fee in the case of our entry-level condos. And so when we look here, our entry level for our single family home is $41.38 a month. And our entry level for a condo is $3,018 per month. Now, if you go here and you look at our minimum household income required, I always think this is interesting. How much do you actually need in your household to qualify, assuming you have no other debts? Well, that number is just over $100,000. You see, we are just shy of our peak number that was back in May, and we are at $73,922, so a bit lower than last week, which is definitely kind of a good result. Again, this is based on those closed sales. So this data in some ways is 4 to 6 weeks old. I keep mentioning that because I think right now in this market, that may be hiding a price increase that occurred over those last 4 weeks. So this is kind of the one where we do our immediate measurement of sort of how crazy is our market. And every market is different on these ranges. So you might have heard me say that anything between 70 and 80% is a seller's market. 80 to 90 is a strong seller's market. 90 to 100 is a really strong seller's market. Anything over 100% is just crazy town. Well, that varies kind of by area. In the Bay Area, for example, up near San Francisco, we're pretty used to seeing numbers up there that are over 100%, meaning more homes go into escrow than came in the market. If you look at what's going on here, you'll see that our condo market seems to have picked up a little bit, right? It was kind of hovering in the 70s, went into the 80s, back into the 70s, and there's kind of an oscillation to this condo market. Now back at 82%. We actually ended at the exact same spot here for our entry level single family market, meaning if 100 new homes came on the market in the last 14 days, 82 homes went into escrow in the last 14 days. So still a strong seller's market in both of these categories, though maybe not quite as strong as we saw maybe back here in the middle or towards the end of February, where we had 100% for our single family homes and 94% for condos. Even all the way through March, we were in the 90s. I think what you see is kind of a more gentle easing. If you're a buyer, right, this is not easing nearly soon or fast enough. If you're a seller, you're happy that it's still a very brisk market. So, what I tell buyers is really you have to understand that right now there's a lot of variables. So variability. So in one market, this absorption rate might be a lot lower. They have a lot more inventory, right, coming into the market. But in an area, like I mentioned before, like South Orange County, on the other hand, that is still a very limited inventory market where the homes really are flying off the shelves as soon as they're coming on. So if we look at our total inventory, I think this is the graph that actually fascinates me the most. So if you look all the way back here towards the beginning of the year, right? Even towards the fall, we always had more condos available than single family homes. Both of these inventories took a dive. So all the way through January, they got closer and closer together. Then something weird happened. Our condo inventory kind of bottomed out, but our single family home inventory started going up. And really in the last month or so, it hasn't stopped. And we're still not even at the level of inventory we were in September, October timeframe of last year, but we're on our way. We have approximately 1,600 active 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes in Los Angeles and Orange County versus our low point here when we were more like 1,100. So, that's a 50% inventory increase across the system. I think, if I were to generalize the results, and I'm going to say something here, I'm noticing that there's some cultural differences geographically. Normally, the LA and Orange County markets we lump them together because they behave very similarly, especially in places like Long Beach, right? Long Beach is a city that is on the border. It's at the south end of LA County. It's at the north end of Orange County. Many people who are shopping in Long Beach may also be shopping in Seal Beach, Garden Grove, neighboring Orange County cities. Right now, though, we're seeing kind of a divergence between the two counties. I think we're seeing a lot of overpricing in LA County itself. I think we're seeing a lot of sellers who say, especially in the San Fernando Valley, we have a lot of sellers where what they do is they look at the last comp and they say, well, my neighbor got $900,000. I'm going to put my house up for $1 million. Sort of trying to drive the market up. And, unfortunately, that's not how it works, right? Buyers drive prices. Sellers do not drive where the prices are. Just raising your prices does not make them necessarily go higher. So in Orange County, on the other hand, though, I think we still have people that are pricing to get multiple offers and seeing where the property falls. So I think we have kind of a divergence in pricing strategies between LA County and Orange County. So let me jump back in here. So, this is really good news on the inventory front. If you are a single family home purchaser, you have a lot more choice than maybe you did in the past. Again, market specific. So if we look here at our 14 days still active, that number has gone up a little bit and now it's kind of flattened out. We've kind of been trending in the same zones here. And remember, this is a metric where a lower number means a more competitive market. And what we do is we look at all of the homes that came on the market in the last 14 days, and then we say how many of those are still available. So obviously a higher percentage means more of them are still available. I think what we might be seeing here is a little bit of a trend where The hot properties get 20 offers, and the less than hot properties get like 1 or 2 offers. So I think we're starting to see that buyers are being pickier in what they're doing. And that might explain why this number is going up a little bit. Finally, we kind of have our overall inventory. So when we do this measurement, right, total inventory, this is a very static number. It just says a flat out number. What weak supply of homes does is it tries to reference that against, well, how fast are people buying houses, right? How long would it take to deplete our inventory if no new homes came on the market? Well, if you were in the condo, that number actually slipped right back under 5 weeks. So just under 5 weeks. And if you're in a single family home, that number edged up. And we've been watching that edge up since the end of April. I think this is a market that is acting a little healthier. I just think we're not seeing it in all market segments just yet, but give it a little bit of time. I think we will. And just to give you a reference point, this number of about 3.5 weeks, the reality is we haven't seen anything that high since towards the beginning of this year. That is the kind of the new highest number that we've seen since very early in January. Obviously down here, this market, there's a lot less inventory in that entry level condo market than we're seeing in the single family home market. I've got a couple theories on why that might be. One of the things that we've talked about a lot here on this video series is we've talked about the notion that what's really holding sellers back is that they are afraid that they are not going to be able to buy something once they sell their home. It's the number one complaint we get from sellers or would-be prospective sellers. They don't want to put their house on the market and be left with nothing. I think condo owners feel that particularly harshly, and they're afraid to put their properties on the market. They want to get a house, and they don't think they're going to be able to make that jump. So they sit on their condo and they don't put it on the market. I think that might be explaining why that inventory level is particularly tight. Anyhow, happy Friday, everybody. As always, if you are interested in becoming a homeowner, this is what we do. It is our focus and we love it. Definitely reach out to us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. If you are not watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. I think I forgot to put it in the description for this, but I will edit that so that is in there. We love the questions. We love the comments. We'll see you again really soon.